What is going on, everybody? My name's Christian Robert, and today I'm filming a video that I never thought I'd ever make, or I never thought it would actually happen. Obviously, you already know from the title of the video, but today I'm going to show you my six-figure stock portfolio. I can't even call it a dividend portfolio because, well, you'll see in a minute, but I mean, I never thought this day would come, and I'm filming this on August 26th. This actually happened on July 13th. I just kind of took a little break from YouTube and haven't had time to film. So this was very long overdue, but let's jump right in and I'll show you my portfolio. So here you have it. You see the big number right at the top. My portfolio is currently sitting at $125,514. It is currently during trading hours, so you might see this move around a little bit. And yeah, it's obviously well above 100,000. I'm probably going to show the picture of when I actually hit 100,000 on July 13th. But this is crazy to me. As a dividend investor starting out, it's just crazy. I'm going to show you why it's crazy. If you look at a 1 week chart, you can see we had a low of about 115,000 to what we're at now, which is a $10,000 gain. A 1 month chart will show you that we were at 99,000, hit a low of 94,000. If we show a 3 month chart, you can see that back in May we were at 65,000. And then if we look at a 6 month chart, you can see that in late February we were at 58. And then when everything got crazy in the world, we hit a low of $32,694. Now, just think about that. From March 18th to today is August 26th. That is, I'm terrible at math. That's over $90,000 of growth right there in a short time frame. When we had that crash in March, there was a lot of personal stuff going on in my life as well. I lost my mother. So it was a very difficult time, and obviously seeing your portfolio significantly drop like that was very, very discouraging. And it just shows you that all you have to do is make one smart move, and this is what's possible. So I'm going to show you the history from 2017 actually, because I have a very wacky chart. There was a lot of different things happening. Keep in mind, before I was on TD Ameritrade, I originally started investing on Scottrade. I want to say in around 2011, 2012, but then Robinhood got really popular, so I moved there. And so I believe it was around this time in 2018 where I started back into what was Scottrade was now TD Ameritrade. I started back up, and then you can see a jump from 700 to 35,000. That is when I transferred all of my Robinhood portfolio over here. And then you can tell in 2018 it kind of stayed flat in the high $30,000 range into the low 40s. In 2019, you can see we were still in the 40s, working our way to the 50s, and then we hit close to 53. And then this is when it got really strange. Is in August of 2019, it's a big drop of 5,000, and that is actually when I cashed my portfolio out, attempting to buy some land near where I live. I had planned on buying this land with the money and building my next house. But if you follow the channel, you know that didn't work out as planned. So I started putting the money back in, and the rest is history. So yeah, that's a little wacky of a chart to show you, but that's my chart. And let's get into the portfolio now. So when I say that it's hard for me to call this a dividend portfolio anymore, you can see exactly why. And that is because of none other than the Tesla. I've never would have imagined a stock could go up the way this stock has. I have 38 shares. I bought with an average cost of $377.97. And you can see that percentage-wise, I'm up 457%. Dollar-wise, I'm up $65,725. And honestly, I feel like, as crazy as it sounds, and I'm sure some people might say it's naive, I feel like Tesla has just scratched the surface. I'm not going to go on and on about Tesla because there's plenty of other YouTubers that do, but 2021 is looking like an incredible year with the release of 3 new cars, new gigafactories being built as we speak, with probably more announcements, big announcements coming in exactly 1 month on Battery Day. So, it's hard for me to even contemplate selling shares right now because I just feel like, it's only getting started. So I don't know what like my end goal is with this, but I'm confident that if I sit patiently, I could be walking away with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of profits. And if not, then I don't know what to say. But other than Tesla, which obviously makes up a huge portion of the portfolio, we have 3M. I have 50 shares I'm really happy with. We're just about even on the stock. This brings me, I believe, a $70 quarterly dividend, which is really nice. Then we have one of my favorite all-time stocks, which is O Realty Income. I have 126 shares. This brings me $29 monthly, which I absolutely love. And then one of the biggest dividend payers is MO Altria Group. I have 153 shares. And if you watched my previous video, I just received a dividend of, I believe, $126 quarterly. We're not going to go into each and every stock, but SPHD, which is a monthly paying dividend ETF, I have 152 shares. This brings me $22 a month, I believe. And then one of the biggest duds of the portfolio is Carnival Cruise Line. I have 250 shares, and I'm currently down 42%. I've thought about cutting my ties and just selling it, but that goes against what I originally did, which was focus all on dividend stocks, long-term holding them. Sure, they cut the dividend. Sure, they're going through a lot of crazy times right now, as everything else is in the world. So I'm really just trying to hold my head up high, weather the storm with this one. I'm not saying that I'm going to see $26, which is my average price, anytime soon, but I'm confident that if I just hold out for the long term, even if I have to sell, it won't be as big of a loss. Then we have Qualcomm at 30 shares. I'm up 53% on that one, so that's really nice. That one was definitely a 5G play, as well as AVGO, which is Broadcom. 10 shares. I'm up 15% already. Disney, 25 shares. This one's been pretty wacky. I believe it went all the way down just under $100. I wish I was buying then, but I wasn't. AbbVie, 35 shares. Keep in mind, a lot of these stocks I've either added to recently or they're new buys. I was using margin money. I'll get into that soon. Wynn Resorts, I bought all this on margin, I know for a fact. I'm down 4.5%. This is one of the stocks that completely cut their dividends, which really sucks. New Residential, I have 303 shares. They not only cut the dividend by like 90%, but I'm down 36%. AT&T, 70 shares. Raytheon, 30 shares. BTI, 51 shares. And if you notice the dollars allocated into each of these stocks, they drastically get smaller. I have a lot of stocks, way more than I should have, but it's a simple case of just being so overly diversified. I will definitely be condensing this in the near future, but I have Geo stock, Starbucks, which is a new one, 20 shares. I'd love to get this one to like 100 shares. It'll take me some time though. Main Street Capital, 51 shares, 151 shares of Apple Hospitality. I cannot wait till they bring back the dividend. They've been making some great acquisitions with hotels recently. So, even though it stinks that they're not doing that monthly dividend right now, I know forward looking, it'll be great because their portfolio is going to be enhanced by these low interest rates and the company being able to purchase these great locations. 10 shares of IBM, 6 shares of Visa. The more I become, or the more I'm an investor, the more I realize that since I'm only 28 years old, I should have been investing into these type of stocks like Visa and a few others that I'll point out. But it pays out a very low dividend at 0.58%. But this is a company that will appreciate greatly over time and have a high dividend growth rate. So if I could go back, I probably would have spent more time adding to stocks like Visa and Home Depot and Nvidia rather than the AT&Ts and the what else do a lot of people buy? The Coca-Colas, something with a lot more growth. I've realized that is really what I need for my portfolio and what I'm looking for. But then I have 10 shares of PNC, 50 shares of QYLD. A new spec play, I have 300 shares of Planet 13. It's a marijuana stock. I'm up 54%. I actually purchased 100 shares today. My average cost was in like the $1.70 range, but it bumped it up big time buying another 100 shares. But they report their numbers on Friday, and I'm confident in that. And then, like I said, Nvidia, 2 shares, I'm up 100%. If I were to have focused on a stock like this over a lot of these other ones, my portfolio would be a lot higher than what it is. And then from here on out, I'm not going to spend too much time scrolling through, but Skyworks Solutions, Hanesbrand, a few REITs, Pepsi, 5 shares, Home Depot, 2 shares, Waste Management, Boeing. So as you can see, I have a lot of stocks. I don't even know how much if I were to count it all up. But yeah, these are all the stocks that round out the portfolio. I would like to start selling off a lot of these smaller holdings. I have 10 shares of L Brands. I'm up 81%. It's only $314. So even if it doubles, I'm not going to make that much more money. So I've realized that it's time to just start cutting a lot of these stocks out of the portfolio. Johnson & Johnson, only 2 shares, 3 shares of JP Morgan. These are stocks that I would like to become staples in the future. And then, a lot of stocks, like I said. But a few things I want to point out with my portfolio. Let's go back to the top here. So Tesla obviously makes up a majority of the stock. But if you look up here at my margin balance, you can see that I am borrowing $37,000 of funds. So if you add those two up to what I have, I have over $160,000 invested in the stock market. So a big goal of mine is obviously to pay this one down. I know a lot of people are going to see this video and be very angry or discouraged that I would even touch margin. But, there was a little bit of madness or a little bit of reason behind the madness. I bought a lot of Tesla shares with margin. So if you think about it, I would not have this portfolio to the size if it wasn't for using that borrowed money to purchase those shares. Like I said, I have over $66,000 of gains from Tesla. So a lot of that would not exist if I didn't use borrowed money. So I'm currently paying like $280 a month in margin fees. So if we just round that up to $300 a month, that means I'm paying $3,600 for a year of the borrowed money of the current balance. So, obviously you compare $66,000 of profits to $3,600 a year in fees. To me, it makes sense, especially when I'm in a position where I could easily sell some stuff off and pay it down drastically. So that works for me, but I am not suggesting anybody else use margin. I've used it when I first started investing, and it hurt me very, very badly. So you really have to be careful. And then I just want to end the video with a couple of goals I have. So I like to use this income estimator because even though I love Tesla and I love how much I'm up on it, I'm really a dividend investor, so I'd like to get this number back up. A big goal of mine, I'd like to start seeing $5,000 a year in dividends. So I'm a ways away from that. But I would also like to start messing around and maybe start selling off some profits. So if I could bring in $5,000 a year in dividends, and then if I could find a way to make $5,000 a year on buying something that I think is undervalued and then selling it a few months later. So I think that would be a really good number for me to hit, is 5,000 of profit taken, 5,000 of dividends, and then I'd have a nice $10,000 baseline of money coming into the portfolio. And to be completely honest with you, I have not been adding much money at all. Like everybody else, it's just been a very crazy year, and I haven't had the resources to really be funding my account. So that is also another big thing that I want to get back on track, is clearing out some bills, paying off some debts, and then getting back on track to adding this portfolio. And obviously paying down that margin is going to be a huge goal for me moving forward. But I'm sure this video is already too long, so we will end it here. Once again, thank you everybody who watches the videos. If you like the video, hit the like button. If you haven't already, subscribe, and comment down below what are some of your goals that you're trying to accomplish with the stock market, or if you haven't even invested yet. I'd love to hear from you guys. Where's your portfolio sitting at? And if you have any suggestions, I'd love to hear it. But as always, I will see you in the next one.